Sara, these are the exact same 4 counts with which Donald Trump was initially charged. What's different here?
So what's happened is Jack Smith has stripped out many of the allegations that involved so-called official acts. This is following the Supreme Court's ruling on whether or not a president is immune from charges while in office. So he's taken out some allegations about his conversations with the Justice Department. And specifically, he stripped out allegations involving one of the 6 unindicted co-conspirators, who was Jeffrey Clark, who was a senior Justice Department official at the time. On the other hand, he has left in other allegations, including conversations with Mike Pence, who he was pressuring to sort of obstruct Congress from certifying the vote. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Trump's team reacts to this new indictment, it really dropped out of the sky today. It was totally unexpected at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think all of us let out a collective gasp when it hit the wire, Sara. So if we're waiting for Trump's team to respond, how much time realistically would that take? Does this change at all the likelihood that this goes to trial this year, let alone before the election?
Well, clearly it opens the door to a new round of legal wrangling, but it does represent Jack Smith's effort to pursue the case. We had been expecting him to file a brief on Friday, sort of laying out next steps in this case, and so we've gotten it clearly a few days early. But it'll go back to the judge. The judge will ask the Trump lawyers to respond in kind. So, yes, there will be more, legal back and forth over these immunity issues.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see if this ends up back before the Supreme Court, who, of course, made that initial ruling last month. Sara Forden, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Now, meantime, Donald Trump says he has reached an agreement for the debate against Kamala Harris on ABC, scheduled for September 10th, after casting doubt on whether he'd appear for it earlier this week. In a posting on Truth Social this afternoon, the former president said, in part, I have reached an agreement with the radical left Democrats for a debate with Comrade Kamala Harris. It will be broadcast live on ABC Fake News. He says by far the nastiest and most unfair newscaster in the business, saying that the rules will be the same as the last CNN debate. It will be stand-up and candidates cannot bring notes or cheat sheets. He also said he's been given assurance by ABC that it will be fair and equitable and that neither side will be given the questions in advance. For more on this, Bloomberg's Michael Shepard is joining me here in studio. So, Mike, obviously we've had a bit of a back and forth over the mic issue in recent days as well, not just whether or not Donald Trump was going to show up, but whether each of them would have the liberty to talk when it is not their turn to do so. By him saying it's the same rules as CNN, are we to believe that the mics will indeed be shut off as they were back in June?
Well, I think we need to hear from the other 2 parties in this, of course, ABC News and the Harris campaign. And maybe this will put an end to the debate about the debate. Will it proceed? Trump seems to say now we will go ahead. And 2, the terms. In the end, the most important thing, setting the rules aside, is what the 2 candidates will say to each other about the issues at hand. Most importantly, the economy. But there are a lot of other key matters on the agenda, as we know, and we've talked about in this space.
Well, certainly Kamala Harris is not waiting to get on the debate stage to take that economy message to the swing state. She released a new ad that's beginning to run today in some of those battlegrounds focused on the economy and the middle class. Take a listen to part of it.
I will be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, and dignity. If you want to know who someone cares about, look who they fight for. Donald Trump fights for billionaires and large corporations. I will fight to give money back to working and middle class Americans.
So these, once again, Mike, are kind of broad ideas about fighting for the middle class, targeting housing and price gouging. We saw her outline a lot of this in North Carolina earlier this month. Still lacking on a few specifics, though.
Understandably, they are building the plane as they're trying to fly it with so little time. For those keeping count at home, 69 days until Election Day. So they really don't have much time to pull together an economic plan, a full economic plan, so soon after ascending to the top of the ticket. But they have already made clear a few key points. And one of them, of course, is this housing-focused plan. And that addresses one of the key concerns among core Democratic constituencies. They're worried about younger voters, they're worried about racial minorities, and they're worried about people who are renting. And this is a set of voters that they really want to try to motivate to get out there and show that they are on their side. The Harris campaign has promised to take steps, if she's elected, to add as many as 3 million new housing, including rental units across the country. It would include a $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers and as much as $40 billion in new construction innovation funding. Where all that money would come from, again, it goes back to what you were saying about specifics. There's a lot we still don't know. And these plans are going to start taking shape over the next 2 weeks or so as we head into the debate.
All right, Bloomberg's Michael Shepard, thank you so much. And we do have a bit of news related to Vice President Kamala Harris, who had said she wanted an interview scheduled before the month of August was out with a major network. CNN just announcing that both Harris and her running mate Tim Walz will exclusively join Dana Bash for their first joint interview since accepting the nomination. It will air Thursday night, August 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, turning overseas, Israeli forces rescued a 52-year-old male hostage today from a Hamas tunnel in Gaza. Israeli military spokesman Daniel Hagari spoke about that mission.
During a complex rescue mission, Qaid Farhan al-Qadi from the Bedouin community of Rat, who was kidnapped from Israel by Hamas terrorists during their massacre on October 7th, has been rescued. He is alive. He is back home in Israel.
Bloomberg's Courtney McBride joins me now for more. So, Courtney, obviously this is great news for this hostage, for his family. He has 11 children, but there are still more than 100 hostages being held in Gaza. Is there any tangible proof at this point that negotiations for a wider hostage deal to bring those people home are going much of anywhere at all?
Well, at this point, I mean, we certainly welcome this rare bright spot in the release or the rescue of this hostage. But the talks that have been going on for months to secure a ceasefire and the release of additional hostages do not seem to have advanced further in the recent days.
Well, and we understand that they'll be resuming once again in Cairo. You, of course, have recently been to the Middle East with Antony Blinken. Courtney, is there a sense that the administration is presenting false hope or optimism, or do they really believe they keep getting close to a deal and then all of a sudden one of the parties says not so fast?
Well, the message from the administration certainly continues to be that they are as close as they have ever been, but that there remain gaps to narrow. The U.S. provided this bridging proposal that is meant to address some of the concerns raised by both the Israeli government and Hamas. But the fate of the Philadelphia corridor, the positioning of Israeli troops in that area is really an ongoing sticking point and continues to sort of bedevil the negotiations.